Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Game-Based Learning in the World Language Classroom, the why, the what, and the how. We're still in section 1, which is the why. I'm Madame Sensei. I teach Spanish, French, and Japanese to high schoolers out here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. I can be reached at studio-nemo.com, or the Minecraft Education Ambassadors, or the Minecraft Teachers Lounge, or on the Duolingo Educators Network, because I love to bounce ideas off of people. We're still talking about the Hattie effect sizes, and there are a lot of really high impact things that you are going to automatically be doing when you use game-based learning. And this stuff is great to sprinkle into your yearly evaluations. So I'm going through them in depth for you. Summarization has a Hattie effect size of 0.79, and I really like this book, Summarization in Any Subject by Rick Romelli and Deidre Stafford. Many of these techniques are very easily adapted into games. You can, of course, ask students to summarize the game they just played. It's really fun to do this like it's a sportscast, or they can just explain what they did to their friends who weren't at the table. But unless you summarize explicitly, you're not actually going to hit this Hattie effect size. Effort, Hattie effect size 0.77. Students put in a lot of effort to win the game, or at least play it and enjoy themselves while playing it. Interventions for students with learning needs, that's Hattie effect size 0.77. I've talked about how a good game has differentiation built right in, so often you don't need to work too hard to come up with interventions and scaffolds for students with learning needs. My most difficult that I had to really think about was a student. I was talking about her in a previous episode. She had social anxiety so badly that she absolutely refused to speak in any of her classes and had never spoken in any of her classes her entire school career. And now she was a freshman in high school and had gone through already 9 years of not speaking in class. Okay. So it was a very simple thing for me to hand her a whiteboard and a marker or a piece of paper from a stack I pre-printed beforehand that said, "Bonjour Betty, please write the sentences that we're working on here," that, because we would have a game. Her table mates were very good about involving her in the game and waiting for her to finish writing it. Now, it did take 2 seating charts before I found the really right balance for her, I have to admit, but I was able to keep her involved in class, in a game-based class. But it took a lot of thought and a lot of planning to get to that point. For most IEPs, there's going to be the accommodation of more time on tests and assignments. So students probably need more think time during the game, but you're going to quickly see that their table mates are more than happy to give them that time. Their table mates are going to be pointing to salient phrases on their cheat sheets. Their table mates are going to be reteaching their peers. We have a random acts of kindness club in our school. They're always looking to bust students for being kind. I think they're getting tired of me putting in students' names and claiming, "Oh, it's such a pleasure to watch Bob coaching his competitors on how to win the game." They just want to play together. I had a student with cerebral palsy, which is not a learning need. She did enjoy the challenge of Jenga, so we played it a lot because she liked it a lot. And again, her table mates were really good at finding workarounds and cheering her on because none of them wanted the tower to topple. This is my walker because I broke my leg tripping over a student's backpack. We language teachers love mnemonics. Absolutely love mnemonics. Hattie effect size 0.76. And these were just like random mnemonics that I do with my students. You want to stay far away from a lion. If you get too close, you're going to become his prey. Loin, près, okay? My Japanese students love when we're working on adjectives. They throw a kunai at it. Utsukushi becomes utsukushi kunai, okay? They just love that sort of stuff. My French students just really wanted to gross each other out one year. They were like, "What's the grossest thing we could come up with?" And I always try for like porte, to wear or to carry. I always used to try to bring up hotel porter. Okay, no, my French students weren't having any of that. They decided they were going to visualize carrying around a porta potty, which is fine because then they remembered it after that. And my Spanish students just like the absurd, so they would shout out, "I'm looking for my bus card." Do you remember buscar? So making a mnemonic feels like a game, okay? And you could challenge your students to come up with weird mnemonics, but they're so silly that it's very game-like. As a matter of fact, one of the world memory champions, Dominic O'Brien, he has a book, Quantum Memory Power. It's on the Amazon Kindle, I'm pretty sure. All of his books, actually. He says the weirder connection you make, the better. You're going to remember it better. So lean into that and make little mini games out of it. Chanting a rhyme is a mnemonic. I take it up a notch, okay? Any song you teach to help your students to remember, or a song you challenge your students to write. Oh my gosh, my students love writing songs. It's also very game-like. Add plenty of TPR, total physical response. Make it feel like a dance. Your game's complete. You can even go caroling class to class, and caroling quote unquote, because you're going to learn a song. It's not necessarily wintertime. We did this a lot pre-pandemic and not so much post-pandemic, but the students loved it because it was like, hey guys, this is your test. Can you sing it to our next door neighbor? All right. They loved it. Easiest A they ever got, right? I'm going to talk more in detail about a multitude of musical games for specifically using songs and chants in your classroom. I'm going to go ahead and use this opportunity to talk about roxem.com. It's got Spanish and French and Chinese at the moment. No Japanese, unfortunately, but pretty fun little online games with music. Planning and prediction, that has a Hattie effect size of 0.76. Again, this is solidly in the wheelhouse of game-based and project-based and action-oriented approach. Students are definitely planning their next move, and they're predicting, if I do this, then this will happen. In our next episode, more Hattie effect sizes. There's a lot that are up here. We're going to go down to 0.6 because those are the ones that give us the most bang for the buck. So hope to see you there.